Thank you for reminding. Let's repeat this part little bit and then we will go ahead. So when we load the page, either we have keyword and latitude, longitude, or we have only latitude, longitude, or we have only keyword. If we have latitude, longitude, we will go through this logic. And if we have keyword and latitude, longitude, we will go through this logic in some time. And if we have only keyword, we will go through the logic in some time. So if we have latitude, longitude, we check the boundary. And inside boundary, let's say we have boundary of county. So we will construct the URL with the base path. And then we'll go to the boundary that is county. Inside county, we will go to the US and the state that is CA and the county. County will be San Francisco County if we are searching San Francisco. And inside San Francisco, we will get all the records. This is done by using this Firebase tree, which we created. We have data. Inside data, we have the county. That means this is the boundary user is trying to search. And this is the US, country, state, and county. And in county, we get all the records. Similarly, if we have city, we will go to this city part and we go internally with the country, state, county, city, and we get all the records. Similarly, if we have the state boundary, then we go to the state boundary, that is this one, and we go to country, state, and we get all the records for that state. And if we have the boundary of the country, then we go to country boundary, and then we go to US, and we get all the records for that country. So this is how we build our URL. Once we build the URL, I will call the Firebase database using this functionality, these two lines of the code, and I will get all the records in the snapshot.wall. And I will keep that snapshot.wall in the records. Now I will loop through all the records of this snapshot.wall and try to get details of that record, because right now, if I go to any record, I'm only getting the key and I'm getting the timestamp. I'm not getting the detail of the post. So to get the detail of the post, I will loop through this, whatever I'm getting from the Firebase, that is this record. This record, that is key value pair, where value is only timestamp, and I want to get this key, that is this key post ID, and based on this post ID, I will try to get more records, more detail of the records. So what I will do now, I will go through the records, that is this key value pair, and I will try to loop through it. Before I go through, let's go to the country wise. So you will get more records. Now it's only one, so you may not be able to see really what is happening. Let's say I search for San. Okay, there is some problem. I think this problem comes whenever the URL is like this. If I remove this URL, and then problem is gone. I'm able to search. I will make the boundary as country or state. Let's make the state. And now my URL is like this: food donation, data, state, US, and CA. And now I'm getting 3 records, 1, 2, 3. Each record I'm getting with the timestamp. I'm not getting the details of that record. So what I will do, I will loop through these records, and for each record, I will take the key and I will try to grab the details of that record. So how to do that one? So what I will say, once I get the records, I will loop through the record. Before I loop through the record, I will check if records is there or not. So if records are not there, if no records, I will return null. So here, if no records are there, I will return null to this function. So I don't need to go further. But now if records are there, I will write a JavaScript to loop through the records, to loop through the object. So to loop through the object, we use like this: for var key in record one second. Oh yeah, for key in records. So this is way to grab the object. And now what will be the key? key will be this one, whatever you are seeing, this one. And if I want to get this value, I can use records bracket key. So this is how we grab the value. To grab the value, I can say records key, but if I want to get the key, I will say only key. So for example, I will show you console.log, check one key. I will first put key and then I will say record key. Now if I refresh, so you will see check one, key is coming like this and value is coming like this. So if we want to grab the value, we will say record key. But if we want to get the key, I will say key. Right now, whether I want key or value in our use case.
Key.
Key. What I will do with the key?
Get the details.
Get the details. How to get the details? Where should I go?
Posts.
In the post. If in the post I go to the key, I will get all the details. So I will construct the URL for each case. So here I will create the sub URL. For example, I will say var sub URL. This will be like this. So I will say first, I will put this base URL, and after data, I will put the post. What is that? I will go to the post like this. After data, I will go to the post. So this is the post. And after post, I will put the key. If I put the key, that means I am reaching to this level. After post, I am reaching to this level. So this will be my sub URL for each case. So in the first case, key will be different. In the second case, key will be different. In the third case, key will be different. In the fourth case, key will be different. So let's console.log of the sub URL. Now I will check what is coming in the sub URL. So sub URL in the first case is put donation data post. This is the key, that is BIW. In the second case, I get the key of ARH. In the third case, I'm getting the key of JV2. Here it's JV2, ARH, and BIW. So that means I'm getting the record. In each case, I get different URL record. So now what I will do, like I did this one, a reference, and this one, similarly, I will create here reference. So I will say var sub reference is equal to Firebase URL database reference. And instead of the URL, I will put the sub URL. Now I'm getting the reference based on this one. Now what I will do this same part. I will grab here and I will put it here. But instead of on, I will only say once. Here I have to say on. On means whenever we get a new data, it will push it here. But here I don't want on. I want only once. So whenever we get record, I want to grab only once with this sub URL. So I will say sub reference dot once. It will be value, and here it will go, instead of snapshot, I will say sub snapshot, and I will close the curly bracket and round bracket. So I will say curly bracket and round bracket. Now if I do console.log of sub content sub snapshot dot wall, now what you will get here, when I do this one, what you will get? You will get these details. Is that okay? Is that clear?
Yes.
So we will get this detail. Let's see now. So when page is refreshed, sub content is coming and giving me whole details. Second time sub content is coming, give me whole details. Third time sub content is giving me the whole details. So here I am getting all the, initially I get only the key, then I loop through the key and I get all the records. Okay, but here in the previous case we don't have the county state kind of thing, so we were directly able to get the records, detailed records directly without even looping twice. Here we are looping twice. This is the first time looping and this is the second time looping. But here, since we want directly from the post, that's why I am looping only once. I'm not looping twice because I'm getting details immediately as soon as we run this URL. So maybe we will tackle this record different way and we will tackle this part different way. Because this way we have to do 2 looping and there we have to do 1 looping. So now what I will do, I will delete all console.log. I don't need it because I know now I'm getting correct thing. Let's do this one. So now what I will do, I will put this part in some variable and then we will play with it. Let's see. Let's comment this part for now because I want to play up till this. Now if I refresh, nothing will come because we're not calling dispatch anyway because I have commented here. Now what I will do, whenever I'm getting sub record, I will put it in some object so that I can show the results. Okay, so let's put it in the object. So maybe here I will create var sub objects is equal to null. And then if we have records, initially I will say null because if we don't have any record, I will say null and I will show some empty message there. But right now, once we have record, I can start the sub object as an object. And then once I loop through it, I will do like this sub objects. Now here I have to put some key and key will be nothing but this key. And I will say equal to, and here I will get this value, detail value. बंद हो गया? बस चल जा हो गया. Right. So now what I'm doing, I created one sub object. I'm putting as a key. Key will be this one which we are building the object and it has a value which is coming from the detail one. Now let's, after the for loop, I will console.log and see what are the sub objects are. Okay, so let's check this one. So if you see sub objects, I am getting only one record. I'm not getting multiple records. The reason is I'm getting one record is because it takes time to get from the server and then it comes. So let's say here, if I put it here, let's see what is happening. If I'm putting inside here, I'm able to get, let's see, I'm getting it or no. No, I'm not getting it. I'm getting only the one record each time. Yeah, one record each time I'm getting it. That is a little problematic. Okay, so what I will do, I will so initially I call this one, it gets all the records, Then for each record, I go to the Firebase and I get the value. But it takes some time to retrieve the value. It does not immediately come to the point. Are you getting me? Why I'm getting only one? Because it takes time from the server to come back, and when it comes back, we don't have the full. Uh, when we initially created the variable, and it fills only with the one variable because it has to wait for another variable, and that by that time it is not existing. It does not exist after that time. So we need to figure out some other way so that we can save it somewhere. So before I do it, let me do it and then I will explain you how to do it. Let me put it in the state and then I will. This becomes a little complicated, and I don't want to make so complicated now at this stage actually. This one is taking time. Have you understood this part that I'm getting it two times? One time I'm getting the ID, that is this ID, and second time I'm getting the details. Is that clear? I'm getting the details here. Only displaying part we have to see, but I'm able to get the detail part here. Initially I'm getting this key. I'm getting this key value, and based on the key I go to the post detail and I get the detailed records. Is this part clear till here?
Yeah. That's
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now we have to only see how I should save the each record so that next time it should be having the updated record. So what I will do, I will create the state and see if I can make that work with the state. I will say console.log state is. So whenever we have problem, I generally create state, and then state will maintain the state of the previous rows. So for example, to create the state, I have to always create a constructor, and I will pass the props. And here I will say super. This is the default way. We don't have to think. Yeah. Lulu पे जाके props, and then I will start with the thank you. I will say this dot state is equal to curly bracket. Let's say I will keep the state as sub objects equal to, for example, null. I will make sub objects as a null, or I will start with object. Let's make it object and see. And then we can change to null whenever we want, but let's start with the object. Then what I will do, when I will reach here, I will say this dot set state curly bracket sub objects, and here I have to give some value of the sub object. Now tell me one thing to explain this. Let's go and open the notepad. So I have the state variable, for example, obj1, and I'm getting a local variable called as obj2, and obj2 is some object, and third time it's looping. So first time it is getting some object, after a few seconds it is getting another object, and after a few seconds it is getting another object. Now I want to save all this object in this main object 1. So if I update the state object 1 with object 2, and then if I go second time, I will do this again. Third time I will do this again. That means I'm replacing here. Here I'm replacing with this one. That means this is lost. Here I'm replacing this one. That means this is lost. Here I'm replacing this one. That means these two are lost. So how can I keep all these three in object 1? How can each one as having some key? Maybe this is key 1, this is key 2. But if I replace object 2 to object 1, I am losing the previous one because I am overwriting this one. So how will I keep it same? So now I will show you the code how to keep it same. Then you have to tell me if you have understood or not. So for example, if I create this dot state is equal to some object 1 is equal to curly bracket, for example. Initially I create the state like this. Now when object 2 comes with particular key 1, what I will do, I will initially say var temp, some temporary name I will give. I will say this dot state dot obj1. So I'm getting this obj1 here. So I'm getting this empty object and I'm saving it in the temporary variable. Now when object 2 comes, I will say temporary object with the key 1 value because this is a key 1, and I will save this information. Whatever information is there. Let's say this is AAA. I'm just giving you demo. So that means now my state object 1 has temporary with a key 1 and it has the value of this one. Let's save this state. So I will say this dot set state and then I will say obj1 and value will be temp because temp is something which have key 1 and this is a value. Now when second time object 2 comes, that is this one, I will again call this one var temp equal to this dot state dot object. When I call this one, that means I am getting key 1 already in this temp, and then I will update the temp with the temp key 2 with some information of BBB. So second time I am getting BBB. So I am putting temp key 2 with BBB, and then again I am calling this dot state obj1 equal to temp. Now this obj1 will have key 1 also, key 2 also, because before I save it, I get it and then I update it and then I save it. So second time I am getting the state with obj1 equal to temp. That means we are getting both the keys in the obj1. Third time when we call this obj2, I will again call this temp equal to state dot obj1. When I call this statement, that means I have temp with a key 1 already in it, key 2 already in it. Now we are getting key 3. We are getting key 3 actually. This is a 3. So what I will make temp key 3 is equal to some object will be CCC, and then I will save this temp to the save this temp here with obj1 equal to temp. So when I save this obj1, I will be having key 1 also, key 2 also, and key 3 also. So this way in the state I have all the 3 objects. Is this part clear what I showed you, or you have any questions?
I think it's clear.
Kate?
So in this case, you can save all the object 2 with the 3 keys.
3 key or 100 keys or 400 key, because each time I'm getting the state and then I'm updating the key and then I'm saving the state. Second time I'm taking the state again. That means whatever we saved previously, it is again called into the variable, and I update it with the new value, and I save the state again.
Okay. Clear.
So if it is not clear, just watch the video again and then you will be able to see it again. Let's do this again now here. So what I will do here, in each case, initially I will say var temp equal to this dot state dot, here instead of object one I have the sub objects. So initially I take the sub object one from the state, then I put the temp of key is something which is this key, and whatever value I'm getting from the Firebase, and then I'm saving it with the set state, and I'm saving with the value of temp. So when first time it will run, it will get the temporary object, which is just a empty object, and it will be something empty object, and then I update it with the key and the value from the Firebase, and then I save the state. Second time when it will run, when I get the temp, it has already this part in his memory, and then it will take second time and it will save the state. Third time when it will run, it will again get it sub object, and then it will update the sub object. And each time when it will update the sub object, we will see in the final part whether we get all the three records or not. In the sub object part of the state, we have to check whether we get all the three records or not. So let's go there and see. Okay, so there is spelling mistake, typo error. Whenever we create a state, it should be colon. Okay, we got another state of null. Cannot read the property of state of null. Line number 21. Line number 21, no. Line number. Okay, so we need to fix this part now. 57. Okay, so problem is that I'm called. क्या हुआ? 1 second. क्या हुआ? तू जा. आजा. तू जा. दरवाजा बंद कर. आजा. सिट. हाँ देता हूँ. इधर आ. क्या चाहिए? क्या चाहिए? नहीं, मैं देता हूँ. बैठ. लेके आ, तू जा, लेके आ, पानी लेके आ, पिलाता हूँ. लेके आ, 1 मिनट लेके ना. बैठ, लेके आती है. देखे जा, मेरा भी देखे जा. Okay, can anyone tell me why I'm getting this error? State is null. We have defined the state here. But here I'm getting this dot state is something coming null. Can you think of what may be the reason? Here I'm getting state null, so I'm not able to really save the things here. So what may be the reason I'm getting here state null? क्या हुआ? इधर आ. क्यों डरा रही है उसको? ये बाद में करना. चल आजा, पानी. हाँ ठीक है. चल आजा, पानी पी. चोर हो गया. चल ये ले पी. संभल.
चल मिल्क पिए साथ में, आजा
इधर बैठ।
आजा शावर करा पिए। डर रहा है मेरे से।
क्यों डरा रही है?
तो आज लकड़ी मारेगी तभी सुधरेगा।
ये दे, बैठ जा बैठ जा बैठ जा। Can you think of that one? The reason? होना तो जाना। नहीं बैठ बैठ, नहीं गई है नहीं गई है। भाने भाने Yeah, tell me the reason.
No record?
No? We have defined it.
Yeah,
We have seen whenever we define the state, we can use it. But here I'm not able to use it.
I don't know.
Tony, can you think of it?
No.
The real reason is when I say this, it is not referencing actually this one. Since we have created the function here, then this will become the part of this function, and this is not now referencing to this function rather than this one.
I was saying maybe scope, but
Yeah, so to fix this one, you have to just make this function as an arrow function. Arrow function is not the real function, it is a virtual function, and I will be able to use this dot state from here. So if I change this to arrow function like this, everything remains same, and now it should not give the error. Let's check now. Okay, now we have another error. Let's see what is this. Set state. Now again, when we do this set state, again we have this function which is giving the error. So here also I will remove the function and I will say arrow function. Now let's see if we are getting error or everything is fine. So now we don't get any error, right? So it was fixed. So what was the problem? We have function, and because of function, this was referencing to the function rather than this one. So always remember, the main advantage of the arrow function is that we can use this part from the class if we use the arrow function. Otherwise, if we use the normal function of the JavaScript, then we cannot use this part. Then there is a round way. We have to save another variable here like var that equal to this, and then we have to use that instead of this. But that is another way. But since we have arrow function, we can use this also, and we can use arrow function also. So arrow function helps us to use this in our application. Now let's see whether search state is giving me all three objects or not. Still I'm getting only one. I'm not getting three. And I'm expecting, no, I'm expecting, yeah, I'm expecting three, right? 3 times it should come. It is coming 3 times, but it's not saving 3 times. It should save 3 times. Now we have to again figure out why it's not saving it. Console.log temp is, I will check every time what is the temp variable. So first time temp is we get this one. Second time I get this one. Third time I get this one, and I'm not able to update it again in the temp. It's not updating. Let's check what is coming here. check it here, what is coming. So here we are getting JV2. I'm getting all the time, I'm getting same record, right? That's the reason I'm getting. Now here key is this one, but value is coming correctly. Second time key is this one, key is same, but value is different. So there is some problem with the key. We are getting the key I'm getting all the time same. That's the problem. And that's the reason we are not able to get the 3 separate records. See, this is the key which is V2. This is the key, this is V2. This is the key which is V2. And then description is coming correctly. That means the URL is formed correctly. So let's check this URL. So this time, okay, first time I'm getting the correct URL. Second time I'm getting the, okay, when URL is coming correctly, but we are getting the value of the last key. Now I will ask question from Kate. Kate, do you remember few days back you have a project where we are running and we were getting same problem. It was for loop and it was taking only one value. You remember that project? You showed me and I created a function and then it was working fine.
Okay.
You remember the project where I created a function?
Uh-huh.
You showed me one project when I created a function, it was working fine. This kind of problems has to be resolved by calling the function, because this is the for loop and we use this ajax call in the for loop. This is called ajax call to the Firebase. Whenever we use for loop and we use the ajax call, the problem here is that we lose the value, that is the key value. We lose the value here and we always get wrong results. Okay, so we actually cannot use this part here like this. We have to put this inside the function. Okay, let's try to put
I
that in the
remember.
function.
Yes.
You remember, right?
Yes.
So let's say put this in the function. Or let's create another function. Maybe I'll create another function. This loop. And let's put this here. And here I will pass the key. I will pass the key here. And what else I need to pass? And let's put this temp here. Let's, instead of temp here, I will put the temp here. Temp will take the sub objects, and then we go through the loop, and then we save the state, and let's call this process loop here. And pass the key. Let's delete this part. And now we will check it whether it's working or we have to fix some other thing. We have sub reference here and we don't have here. So let's put whole thing here. since everything is created by the key, let's put everything here. And now we will see we have the key of this one, key of this one, and key of this one. And let's see the sub objects. And we have sub objects. We have 3 sub objects like 1, 2, 3, and we are getting it this. So let's delete the console.log here, and we have this one process log. I will explain you in 1 minute. I'm just cleaning up the things. So when I state is this, props is this, state is okay. Let's take the state. What is the state in the last one? So we have 3, 1, 2, 3 values in the state. So what I did, whenever we have the for loop and we have the ajax call, this is kind of ajax call where, because we are going to the Firebase, it's not really the ajax call, but it's kind of ajax call because we have to go to the Firebase server, get back from the Firebase server, and then show the result or save the results. Whenever we have something when it takes time to go to the server, come back to the server, and we have that inside the for loop, we always put this in the function. Like I created this function. And once I created this function, the key will be tied to this function. So even if we have some delay in getting the back results, because of this key is passed separately in each case, that key will be tied to this function and we will get separate values from the server. If I put whole logic here, which I was doing previously, I was putting whole logic here. In that case, what's happening, for loop runs so fast that it does not wait for the server. So key will always be the last key in the for loop and we will not get the proper results. We will get only one record because key will come from the last row which is there, because for loop will run so fast it will not wait for the server return. But when we create a function, even if there is delay in the return from the server, this whole code is tied to this function and each one is tied to this key. So everything is tied to this key. So even if there is delay, I will get the key as I want. So whenever we have the for loop and some kind of ajax request there, we should always put the part in the function rather than putting direct code here. So this direct code will not work. Now I put it in the server. Now it will work. So I'm saving each record in the state, and then when it goes here, I have all the records in the state, and state has all the 3 records. Is this clear, this part? So here we have one loop which will take only the key and the timestamp. Timestamp is something like timestamp, because initially we get only timestamp from this one. This part is little tough to understand. I don't expect you to remember or do something. Just go with the flow. Whatever I'm showing you, it may help you in some other project, but don't try to put too much stress on this part, how we got this one, because in reality, once you will, we will do multiple projects, you will, remember automatically. So don't try to put stress on this part. Just remember this, how we are building the URL, and this part, just think that we loop one time to get the key and we loop second time to get the details. So we are looping 2 times to get the record. So once we get this whole thing, once we get this state, we can do like this. So if you see, we can dispatch and we can send all the object here, and here also we are getting all the object in the state. This dot set state, we are getting all the objects. So we can also call another, we can write another function here where I can pass the dispatch only. with the result which we are getting here. We are getting here result in the state. So now what I will do, first you do this part and then I will show you what to do next. So just create another function. Maybe I'll give you one by one. Create a constructor if you have not created, and then create this process loop. Let's create this two function and then I will give you this part and then we will go further.
Yes, done.
Okay. Okay, now what I will do, I'll give you this part, this last part, because till URL you may have it. I will give you this part. खेल भले मुंह पे नहीं लगा. Okay. Now what we will do, now I want to show the results based on this, whatever I have in the state, right? I have to show the results based on what I get here. Based on what I get here. I am not calling this function one. I want to show the results based on the state which I have. So I can do like this. Whenever I get the details, I can call another function called as this dot props dot func2. I'm passing func2. So here I will create another function func2. Func2, it will take some value. What value it will take? It will take all the details. Maybe I'll say details. It will be arrow function. And I will directly pass this dispatch state. I will not do any manipulation here. I will pass the details here. Whichever detail is coming here, I am dispatching to the browse food donation. Here I need to get the detail and then I will dispatching here. Here I already got the details here in the form of this dot state dot sub object, and I am passing it in the func2, and which will directly dispatch it to the front end. So what I will do, I will say here in the func2, I will pass this dot state dot sub object. So whenever I'm getting the details, I am passing the state sub objects to this function 2, and function 2 will dispatch the browse food donation with all the details. Let's see if I'm getting the results there or not. Now, so now I search with the state. Let's try to search with the county so that I can get only one record. Okay, because of this we will fix in the end. Maybe I'll change the URL format. Okay, since we don't have record, it's giving the error. Okay, so initially we have to put some check some. If we don't have a record, then don't. So since I'm getting the error because this sub object is empty, so what I can do, I can initially pass it as null, and here when I get the temp object, I can say if temp, if not temp, that means initially we get null, then I will make temp equal to curly bracket. So initially it will be null and then it will give the curly bracket, and here I can say if not details, return null. If we don't get any details, I will just pass null. So initially it will return the null. Okay, let's see if we're getting error or not. Let's see. Okay, still we get error. That means going there, it's going there. Right, let's see. Let's try to debug. Want to see if I'm getting details or not. So I'm getting details with city, country, county, post, date, tag, users. So I'm getting some wrong details, which I don't want it. Okay, so let's remove this again. Let's remove this one again. I will just revert it to object. Right now, I may do this again, but right now I'm just reverting because this did not solve our purpose of fixing that one. Okay, it did not solve the purpose of fixing this. Since this is home page, I can do like this. I will put else condition. So home page will go here, and I will call this function one in this one, and I'll say return. I don't want to go here if it is not home page. If it is home page, I don't want it to go here. So in the else condition, it will go to the function one and return it, and rest here it will go here. So since it is home page, it is returning from here only. That is function one. Function one is this part which was working fine till yesterday. So I keep it as function one. And if it is either of these three conditions, we will go to this part and it will show based on what we decided. Now let's try to search. San Francisco. And maybe county. Let's search. We'll search it. When I search it, it's showing me only the San Francisco part. Let's search the San Jose. Okay, so this problem is still there. Okay, I will fix the URL in the latter part of the code because we don't need it. Let's do the San Jose. I search based on the county. So it's showing only the mountain view because it is in the county of San Jose. So what I did here in the else condition, I call the function one which was working fine for the home page and I return it. Why did I call return?
So that it wouldn't run the code below there.
Right. So that it should not go below the code. And below code is only for above three conditions, 1, 2, and 3. And for the home page, I don't want you to go to this two-way looping. This is called two-way looping. And this is the one-way looping which we have in the function 1. So in the home page, we will be in the else condition and we are showing only the function 1. But in all other cases, we will be in these three cases and we have to call this two-way looping. And once we call two-way looping, we are able to do based on the location search we have. Let's try to do one more. I want to test one more. If I do San Jose and if I do country wise, I should see all three, but I'm not able to see all three. Okay, so we need to, there are a lot of cases in this, and each case we need to see whether it's working or it's breaking. We will fix this part tomorrow of why country is not working. I was thinking that country is not may not work. We need to check again why it's not working. It's showing only 1. Whereas I pass the country, which is search, location, latitude, state. Okay, state wise. Okay, so we will fix this state wise and country wise tomorrow. I don't have time today to fix this one, but at least we have county working and it's showing the results, and at least we are not getting error now. So coding wise, it looks good to me. Only we have to then see why this URL is not working or this URL is not working, whether we need to do some manipulation on that URL. So I will give you this else part now in the chat. You put it in the else part, and I will give you this function 2, which you can add the function 2. Remember this, there is a comma and then function 2 is there, like this. So you put this one and see what is working, and we will fix all other things which is not working. Tomorrow we will check why city is not working, why country is not working. Right now only county seems to be working. Other cases we have to test it and we have to fix it tomorrow. This is little tough kind of thing, advanced kind of thing, because but you will learn, you will see how the things go into the fraud, we get the problems, and we are trying to fixing each issue in each time. There will be a lot of problems coming in this project when we will be doing multiple things, and this is the most complex part of this project since we are using Firebase. Because in API, if we were using API, it would have been very simple. We would have got everything from the API. We do not have to do this if else condition. We are doing if else condition because we lack the API, and Firebase is limited in this case. Though it is fast in returning, but it has some limitations, and because of that we are making this little complex. But since it is little complex, you are learning more and more things in it to see how the things is happening. So it has advantages also, disadvantages also.